A nice emote from Vendrex, and he's standing in there inside the trap but doesn't know. Mischief, very aggressive. A nice emote from Vendrex, and he's standing in there inside the trap but doesn't know. Mischief, very aggressive. That's going to be a no block onto the core collapse. He'll be able to do it. Mischief is so low. He's Atlas. He's got Atlas coming through so big from Vendrex, and that will be a kill. A double, a triple for Avenger X on this Celeste. Expected.
Mr. They were coming in while the
Sweet Jasmine going to go down. Avenger X, and I see a nowhere near. A block on the Atlas. This is really good for Mischief, but Sig wants to go to Supernova. Down. And I see a nowhere near. He forced the portal all back. This could be a free crack, and Carl's going to go down. Meanwhile, the fight is breaking out. Block on the Atlas. This is really good for Mischief, but Sig 17 stacks already, 20 stacks, here we go. This is going to be a Sky melting if she's able to sustain, but he's forward barging. That's going to do nothing onto ICJL. He's going to try and run. Sky Sewer Strike up in a second. Can she get away? Fountain comes through. Ice is going to go low, and now Sig 1 is trying to do damage to Avenger X going onto the turret. He just doesn't care. Meanwhile, LCGL is going low. That will be an easy kill for Mr. Jim. Atlas comes through. Celeste going to get the turret. Avenger X going to stand in. It's not going to be able to come and trap. That will be an easy kill for Mr. Jim. Atlas comes through. So he's going to get hit by all of it, but it's not going to be able to come and trap, and Kraken is pushing down the Jim. Avenger X going on. Can she get away? Fountain comes through. Ice is going to go low, and now Sig 1 is trying to do damage to Avenger X going onto the turret. He just doesn't care. Meanwhile, LCGL is going low. That will be an easy kill for Mr. Jim. Atlas comes through. Celeste going to get the turret. Avenger X going to stand inside that active command trap, and Kraken is pushing down the base. Solar Storm comes through. He's Celeste alone. Kraken, 2 turrets.
Right now, Sky, but if
got a heal, she's just going to die to this to get that. I really think Mr. Jim's just if he changes that build up, gets a little bit of crit, then Celeste is game and fight for Benny Sports. And that is going to be pull the focus, but
no, I mean we even saw it
coming through. Bulwark's not enough, and that is going to be pull the focus, but Lyra stuck inside the gauntlet, and Mr. Jim 2 gauntlet in a couple of he's going to go down. Lyra's most likely going to survive, but I don't know the Imperial Sigil.
This way actually goes damage.
He can out, and he does. Didn't push. I mean, the trigger. We can agree to disagree on the shield. Wrap up all 3 members. Crawl, we're going to go in. He's got an edge, 1 shot. Going to hit onto the crawl, and that is going to be getting it. It's going very low. He uses the Vanguard on himself. This is very, very passive from Benny Sports. Are they going to go in? Is that the call from Hellstar comes out? It hits on the Guessing X, and this is very, very passive from Benny Sports. Are they going to go in? Is that the call from Hellstar comes out? It hits on the Guessing X, and there's going to be a Bulwark to stop any series strikes from Mr. Jim. He's going to get the Vanguard, use the block. He dodges out the core clap. He's now onto the Celeste. Look at that Celeste getting bursted down, but an Atlas comes. Guessing X wants to do it. I don't think it's he's not as got to keep chasing. No, got Dragon's Eye, and that is going to be doing a bit of poke. Mr. Jim. Next person he's going to boost in. Gauntlet comes through, and that is going to be Avenger X stunned. Getting bursted down, but Atlas stands with the Mr. Jim, so that is going to be a bit of damage, not for him. Done. Does come out to Mr. Jim. He's getting locked up, and he's 2. Sell your build, go Crystal. I think this game is going to be 5-0 first.
Yep, there is no reason 5-0 first to not push in at this point. I mean, Guessing X, try as you may.
You look like you need a hug.
Position of one of our rosters, Salty Potato.
Yeah, and again, 6 teams still
With a jungler, maybe making a roaming squad, but also there's so much responsibility in getting vision on the map. There's so much that these junglers are going to have to try and achieve during these games. It's time.
Fountain in this moment, ensuring G2's final
into this now because Classico in North America right now. TSM obviously looking for that world spot. Cloud9 could upset that dream, and the drafting. Very, very interesting stuff going on as well, as we actually see this Treant started up by Cloud9, but look at Best Chuck sneaking into the backs, looking to attempt to steal some away. He's able to get that gold.
Flash stole the older Treant with the sigil there. Just a monstrous play.
Disastrous start for Cloud9. Not only do they get that Treant that they committed 3 men to, they miss out on their backs as well. So I love Joseph, who's on this fortress, going to be more like a utility jungler than a damage jungler. He's going to actually suffer very early, and Alpha very able to jump into the jungle and just bully I love Joseph. So I'm considering Flash X and Vonsi going to be looking to really turn up the heat onto Joseph, but It all depends on how I Love Joseph decides to play. He's currently in the lane, may look for a gank. It all depends on Best Chuck's positioning.
He's waiting, he's gonna march.
The battle for the Halcyon Fold has begun. The Kraken has awakened.
Jokes? It's your job to entertain me. Drifting on the Halcyon. Unlike me, you are entitled to nothing. Perhaps this is best. Sometimes you have to do it yourself.
Enemy turret destroyed.
Beautiful things deserve to be cherished.
Enemy turret destroyed. Enemy turret destroyed.
Are you commanding?
Enemy turret destroyed. The battle for the Halcyon Fold has begun. Allied hero killed. First blood. Allied hero killed. Allied hero killed. Allied hero killed. Allied hero killed. Enemy is impressive.
I suppose.
Allied turret destroyed. Allied hero killed. Enemy is impressive. Allied hero killed.
This armor chafes when I run. My lady!
Allied hero killed.
Jungle has intensified.
Allied hero enemy is unbeatable. Enemy hero enemy shut down. Allied hero killed. Allied hero killed.
I could not protect you.
Enemy hero killed. Enemy hero ally is impressive.
Gold mine is almost
Allied
full.
hero ally shut down. Allied hero killed.
Milady? Ha 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 ha!
Immense gold payout collected. Allied hero killed.
Duck and roll! Eat your
Allied hero
vegetables,
killed.
kids.
Enemy hero killed. Allied hero killed.
Yes, this is a lance. Why are you laughing?
Allied hero killed. Allied hero killed.
Gold mine is almost full.
Ha ha ha!
You have killed an enemy.
Let us be brave for our...
You have killed an enemy. Shut down.
That
You have been
was
killed.
commendable, I suppose.
Allied hero killed. Enemy hero killed. Double kill. Enemy hero killed.
Justify your actions.
Allied hero killed.
That tree would look
Allied
better
hero
over there.
killed.
Ha! Your paltry attacks failed against Tithians.
You have killed an enemy.
I beg your pardon. Here is your lesson for the day. I have lived and died
Enemy hero killed. Double kill. Enemy hero killed. Enemy turret destroyed.
Let us not go there. 'Tis a silly place.
Allied hero killed. Allied hero killed.
Ah, I miss the sea troll jousts.
Allied hero killed. Enemy hero killed. Allied turret destroyed.
Nobility is in the heart.
Yo, brothers here. Yo.
Hey, buddy.
What's up, man? How you doing? Come here, man. Bro, check out my new song, man. It's crazy. Yeah.
I think it's safe to say Uzi and Faker are the two most famous.
Coming into the finals, and that's just shown by
starting so much of it comes down to the
you also have to then open up
city and so much more complex.
The Rift Herald into the second push because the teams.
Welcome. Of respect given. Point. I was bringing it up. He's recalling. Jorm's fist and a control ward.
There we go. 5 control wards
right.
once again from Samsung, and it makes it so difficult to play against them if you can't force team fights. SKT at the moment are normally very good at catching some waves in the side lanes, slow push them out, and then go back to group as 4 to 5 members and look for the big team fight. But at the moment, they're just so far behind.
Big team fight might be what it comes down to. SKT have had a lot of games like this throughout Worlds, especially the group stage where they had gone 5-1, but they had to make these 10,000 gold comebacks with miracle team fights. Now shut out of the game with all 3 outer turrets gone and down everything else as well. They might need just that.
And we need to look at it from SKT's point of view because that is the more difficult scenario here. When you're lacking vision like that, you have to use numbers advantage to make your play on the map. We just saw them push heavily with 4 members on the bottom side there towards the red quadrant to take away that red buff and try and get a single turret, their first turret of this whole game, for themselves to get some sort of gold back in their pockets, but it's at a cost.
Well, they will lose the top lane tower, as you mentioned here, but it is still fine to trade turrets when you're behind. You just need to get gold on your team, and the fact that Peanut was around bottom side, it meant that Cuvee couldn't step in and defend against Faker. He had to just back away.
At a very small point, there was no local gold picked up for top lane 2-2. We saw Ambition only get 125, so it's almost like you traded a turret for half a turret. The map control obviously is still great for Samsung Galaxy. They can now heavily push in top lane, and this makes it even easier to play for Baron because there's one less bastion of strength near that all-important objective that SKT can use.
It's still SK Telecom. And SK Telecom's legend, though. They always talk about how no matter how much gold they're down, no matter how much of the map they've lost control of, they never quite feel like they're actually going to lose the game, and they're always looking for the next play here. First one on the list is to try and get some sort of control so that they don't get baited around this Baron area.
And here they start marching out a bit 4 versus 4 right here, but Xayah is now recalled and the Kennon's in the bot lane, so momentarily there is a numbers lead for SKT. 4 strong, they run across a barrel to face check some brushes, a few control wards going down, but even though they've gotten some temporary vision into small parts in 30 seconds, they're probably all dead again as Samsung Galaxy sweeps out.
Yeah, and SKT are spending their time on getting this vision. Obviously, Samsung can then move in and deny it once again because Samsung are the stronger team at the moment. They don't have to fear SKT. They can let SKT place the vision, let them go back to their lanes, and then it's Samsung's turn to go into that jungle. And they can freely get rid of it, and then Crown with his Malzahar is a constant threat if someone is trying to face check.
One of the biggest differences I see in Samsung Galaxy this year compared to last year is the confidence this team has in themselves now. Solo pings here going down, but they're just able to very calmly retain control of this map and increase their gold lead here, even versus SK Telecom, you know, the champions, where most teams begin to panic and begin to feel rushed.
It is important, though, to highlight that Faker are getting a lot of farm at the moment. He's been in these side lanes. He's happy saying, you know what, I sacrificed one side of the map to go and actually pick up the CS I need to get my items. So he's still sitting on now 2 fully completed items and QSS plus tier. He's actually very strong in case a fight happens.
And his tier is basically fully stacked. It's at 720 mana right now, so as soon as he gets that Archangel Staff and turns into full Seraph's Embrace, he will have an incredible amount of damage up if he can get to that point, but it's still just that waiting game for SKT.
And the timings are working against him right now. Huni has just gone exhausted on Gnar. That means that when you transform from Mega back to Mini, there's a delay before you can build Rage back up and have the threat of the initiation. While during that time, Cube gets a full 30 seconds on the minion wave on the bottom side here and will press it up turrets.
It's Huni who's applying pressure when SKT are losing the rest of the map. Not in this game due to this AD Kennen counter pick from Samsung.
Nice little smite by Peanut, gets a little bit of gold for himself. 62 for the Giant Moment. Here comes the play. They know smite was used. Peanut, though, had a second charge available. It'll be up soon enough as they get the first and only blue trinket out of Bang.
Remember that this is a Samsung Galaxy backed by 2 Mountain Drakes, and a 3rd one is on the way. Yeah. They don't have to rush at that Baron right there. They're just poking around for the cooldown. Now that the vision is in air, let's see.
I really love the play when you start it, you bait out the blue trinket, you kill it, you go back to your mid lane, push it, and then you go back again!
Going for the play, can he get himself in? He's suppressed! The burst damage! Oh! The fight was too early! Peanut with the game, saving Baron steal! And here comes the re-engage, he bounces back, first blood still goes to Samsung Galaxy. Huni TP's in, but it's 5v4. Huni doesn't have a lot of places to go. Faker likely to lose his life. The flank from AD Kennen. They've got 2, now make it 3 as Bang is forced to run away. He's chased down, he's silenced and dead. Huni can try to Baron recall out, they can't see him. But 4 for 0 to Samsung Galaxy.
SK Telecom got the Baron steal, but they forgot about Cube. As soon as he joins the fight and flinks around the backside, there's only one survivor, and it's Huni himself, left alone to defend.
The call, though, was good from Samsung. Go back to the Baron. When Peanut tries to steal it, you ult him with the Malzahar. But everyone seemed to stop damage on Baron itself.
Yeah. They jumped on Peanut instead of saying he's suppressed. He literally cannot do anything.
Let's see it again here. When Peanut gets into the pit, Crown wants to ult him instantly. It's actually smart by Peanut to try and ult Crown away, but now Ruler is hitting the Gragas instead of the Baron. You don't need to kill Gragas, you can kill Baron.
But Ambition is the one who uses his smite early in the end there, even though the call for the whole team was to stop damage on Baron, so
it's a bad call.
Ambition really has a bit of explaining to do.
Seems like it's a split call. Do you kill the Gragas and then the Baron, or do you suppress the Gragas and kill the Baron?
And it's in moments like those where you see poise and experience really come out. That being said, 4 kills here were cleaned up on the outside from Samsung Galaxy.
It was 4 kills, but the only objective taken was that 3rd Mountain Drake. There's now a long 6-minute lull for neutral objectives, and with that Baron buff on Huni, he has a bit of pressure on the side lane. Samsung Galaxy resets on their 4,000 gold lead. We'll see what they can do next.
All right, Cube right now needs to be careful because we have Wolf and Peanut knock their way down to the bottom lane here, but all of Samsung coming from mid now.
question is, what can they play for? A delayed game probably benefits SKT, letting Faker scale up, and the only thing, again, they can push is turrets. So Samsung Galaxy need to move forward.
All that SKT want right now is Huni to get a turret and some gold with the Baron buff. He's trying on top side, but they're actually expending the teleport here from Cuvee. And again, this is still the AD cannon, and it's extremely threatening here in the side lane.
Well, maybe some concern about being outscaled. Of course, you can't necessarily count out Janna Xayah, but a concern you can think about SKT, incredible late game team fighters in their own right. They'll push forward in this game.
That's where we've seen SKT come back so often in this tournament. They're down, 2-1 in series, and suddenly the fourth game, it's one big late game team fight, and they swing it all around, and then they win that game 5 as well. But in this game here, getting the Baron delayed Samsung, it doesn't mean SKT are suddenly winning, because they're still down in gold, 3 Mountain Drakes, and this draft from Samsung in late game fights is still scary.
Yep, don't get ahead of yourself. This is a multi-step process. SKT have completed step number 1, though. See if they actually are able to get any further in that process, because Samsung right now stabilizing, during that Baron buff, and still trying to keep that lockdown on Vision that we mentioned to open up the opportunity for Zac.
Going for Faker now. He does sense it and gets away in time, but the attempt at a dive was there. Now he's in safety in Fog of War, and never mind, no fight.
Important little ward placed around that blue buff from SKT to see the move from mid to the bottom lane here, but also gotta look at SKT's items. There's still only QSS on the side of Faker. So Crown, once this flash is ready again, can flash ulti onto almost any member on SKT, and they can burn that guy down.
Well, it seems like we're going to be in a lull in the action, though. Samsung Galaxy not really a team to dive. They're the ones that play around vision control and taking over the jungle. They do get a little bit of pressure in the mid lane, so they are getting these chips in. Of course, that triple Mountain Drake means those chips are giant chunks out of the turret every auto attack, but it seems like they're still going to play very patient, and we have some time to go for the next fight.
And one of the reasons for SK Telecom's confidence here, even though they have a lot of champions that require skill to pull off in these team fights, they do have an extremely powerful late game, as you mentioned before, and very well could, again, be mounting one of those huge comebacks.
And they have that experience we always talk about with SKT, and the team saying, you know what, the game is never lost. There's always a way back. Wait for one mistake, and you can punish that. We saw the Baron fight. That went in favor of SKT to get the Baron. They're now hoping that Samsung will overextend. Cuvee doesn't have teleport at the moment. Huni's TP is ready, meaning if Samsung are pushing with 4 members while Cuvee is in a side lane, there is a chance for SKT to force a fight and do what we have seen them do so often.
That moment is not right now. Huni just now is tired again, cannot go back to Mega Gnar, and insight lines with Cuvee means he can easily land a stun through his ultimate, so matched well enough. If Huni ever runs far away from the lane, that's when you can start to see those openings here. Mind you, Frozen Mallet on both these top laners means a chase down is certainly viable.
SKT also needs Samsung to start pushing with the 4. Like, they can't just TP in randomly if Samsung are sitting far back on the map, so they're kind of hoping that Samsung will overextend in the mid lane. There is a ward in the mid here, just past the minion wave at the bottom of your screen. That is a potential ward for Huni to use if they can start a fight.
Remember, Faker is the member of SK Telecom that bought the early Quicksilver Sash, but even when you see Crown creeping around in the Fog of War, there are still options left for Faker. All summoners available as well for both of these squads, except for the teleport on Cuvee. So much of this snowball will be determined by the next play, the big team fight that is set up here.
And we can see what we talked about earlier with SKT through the group stage, that blue line at the bottom. Again, this was that's their goal on average when they went 5-1. They won almost all of those games. They were able to get these comebacks, and as you can kind of tell from the numbers, those aren't that gigantic. Neither really is SKT's deficit here. They have come back from worse, but what matters is the next minute right here. As Baron's coming up, the 4th Drake as well. It's about Samsung's mantra, vision control, make it darkness, play for that play one more time.
What's also important about that goal graph is how SKT in the semifinal against RNG did not fall really far behind like we have seen in the group stages. They had obviously the game 3 where everything went wrong against Uzi's Vayne, but apart from that, SKT had better early games and were more even when they moved towards the later stages of the game. This first game against Samsung, they straight up lost early game. Lost the first turrets, couldn't kill the Malzahar in the mid lane, and they've been behind all game long because of that.
So this is now the moment that starts to matter again. We had that 6-minute lull when SKT stole the Baron, and a mid lane 2-2 fell, and that was it. It's now about this one. The Summoners being up, the ultimates available, the vision control, Kubayana's red buff. It's Samsung's game to play, and it's up to what tactics they want to use to wedge this game open.
That moment approaching quickly here. Baron now spawning, and this is the triple Mountain Drake. This changes the game so much depending on the spawns here. Samsung can annihilate this Baron incredibly quickly. So you have to set up the play by getting Cubase splitting on the bottom side to mount that pressure and force SK Telecom into the difficult choice.
And Huni is here already because he's trying to get control of the mid lane. Trying to allow SKT to push the wave and actually walk into the Baron area through the river so they can kill some of these control wards. But now, SKT were not there to commit, and now Huni has to go back to the bottom lane, and it's actually Cuvee who can either take tower or move to mid himself and get Samsung full control.
And once again, it will be mini Naris. Huni's form times out. You're going to have a little bit of time for Cuvee with the minions. They now see Huni is there. They know he's back in a mini. They know a TP is not a threat from him. And you can see Kennen far away, waiting for maybe a TP location. Though the damage is not high, the crowd control is still the same out of AD Kennen, and he can lock in SKT if they do want a team fight.
Huni getting locked up into the 1v1 here. He does not want with Cuvee having double buffs at the moment. And Samsung apply the pressure.
Nice, so far damage output, not even a chance. They played the vision, they pushed the team away. There was no TV flank to be had. Well played, Samsung Galaxy.
It's such a great setup. You get full control of top lane and mid lane, where you have the minions pushing for you. So the enemy team can't walk into the river. They can only show up behind the Baron. But we saw Samsung right there have the vision control, burn down the Baron with 3 Mountain Drakes, and SKT, they cannot react. And suddenly, we sit with Samsung's Mountain Drakes and Baron buff. They're now looking for that inhib.
I want to see really quickly the dregs of the SKT vision, because obviously they had no chance at all of checking it, and you can see just how deep their wards even were. They saw their own red buff, and that was it. Any of those brushes could have had Schrodinger's Malzahar in it, and it would have been a dead to anyone but Faker if they had face checked it.
Still only one QSS on the side of SKT.
Yeah, as Malzahar, very often, especially late game, the better option to just ultimate the front line, get your percentage damage down, and make sure that you're safe as far as the tank-to-tank battle. Try and work your way through.
And Ruler's big, keep in mind, he's at 70% crit Infinity Edge in. He will melt through this front line. His individual gold lead is 5,000 over pretty much any of the tanks of SKT, and that's Peanut, who went Merc Treads, which doesn't defend, and also going for Night Spell, which is not a good self-defensive item either. Mid lane now under fire, another turret fall.
They burn it down so fast, and Samsung right now are not looking for big team fights. They're playing the map. It's only 4 kills to 0, 33 minutes, and SKT not even getting a kill, and only getting 1 tower.
Samsung Galaxy have worked their entire year to get back to this moment. Their rematch with SK Telecom, and they're opening it with a very confident game #1 here. Moments away from cracking the inhibitors.
They're making a statement in the first game. They're not afraid of SKT drafting a bit more for the early game. They're fine blind picking a Malzahar as well. And they're not giving SKT any chance to engage these fights here. Ruler, with his ulti on Xayah, is so confident in the front line. Bang is trying now.
He's going for the damage on Ambition. The tank, though, still at 1,500 health. Ambition rich enough. He's actually got about as much as Bang does individually gold-wise. And there's just no play to be had. We saw Bang toss the ulti out. Couldn't find anything with it. And back we are now in mid lane siege.
Xayah, Janna is just so incredibly safe because of the ultimates of these two champions and the answers that they have for any sort of SK Telecom threat that tries to get back there to deal with that damage source. You talk about the gold leads on him, Freak. It's absolutely insane, the difference he can put out. And SKT almost feel like their only option is go after the split pusher instead.
They slowed down. He doesn't have a lot of ways out of this one. Finds
some
time. Look for Huni. Can't quite get on the shields. They're in time for